Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but let your girl hibernate because if you live in a region like me where it's gloomy, dark, gray, no sun, you would be hibernating waiting for spring too. But because I got to put on for y'all, I'm not going to miss a beat. So let's go ahead and find our way into Shavasana, corpse pose, lying flat on our back, allowing your eyes to close and soften and begin to get into this moment. And by doing so, we breathe in completely and exhale, empty out thoroughly. I'm going to call this class Winter Warmer because we will be building up the heat because we know after this winter season comes spring, so things will become more vibrant, warmer, colors, budding, blooming, all that good stuff. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. And as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, full body stretch, maybe pointing those toes towards you, away from you. And as you breathe in, begin to walk your hands and feet over to the right side so you're in a curve-like formation or a rainbow, however you want to identify that. The back stays flat still. And just breathing through your side body, those spaces between your ribs. Go ahead and inhale, walk yourself back to center as you move through the other side. You might even want to cross your right ankle over your foot. As you inhale, come back to center and go ahead and plant your feet to the earth so the knees bend and reach your fingertips down towards your heels. We're just going to move through our pelvic floor, that center core space that attaches everything together. So it's not a very dramatic movement by any means. But as you inhale, think about your hip bones drawing towards your low belly. And as you exhale, press it away. When you inhale, pressing those hip bones towards you, that low back presses into the earth. And as you exhale, you kind of peel away and that low back lifts away, if that makes sense. And you're going to do this at the measure of your own breath, but really be intentional with the inhales and exhales. And like I mentioned, it's not a very exaggerated pose, but we are just finding that center here in this space, and maybe even apply some pressure into the heels of your feet and allow your shoulders to ground in as well. Go ahead and release your fingertips towards your heels, and we're going to move into a bridge pose, but it's going to be pretty active. So as you inhale, press into the hands, the arms, and lift the hips away from the earth. And exhale, complete the breath out as the hips touch. Now use your breath back in to lift. Inhale. And exhale, soften back down to earth. We'll find this a few times. Breathing in, lifting up the hips, gazing towards your belly to protect your neck. And maybe you end up finding a bind, so walking those hands closer towards each other, interlacing the fingers and lifting the hips up a little bit higher. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, let it go. This is warming up our hamstrings, the low back, maybe even the thighs, depending on where you feel this sensation. Go ahead and release your bind and slowly, gently release back down. Maybe you even sweep the hips left and right until they come back down to earth, unraveling that tailbone and maybe even letting out an audible sigh. Inhale, draw your knees in towards your chest. Begin to find some movement side to side, releasing out your lower back. out your wrist, stretching through your fingers, rolling out the ankles and toes. You could drift your head side to side, getting into both hemispheres of your brain. And then as you inhale, stretch the legs up above towards skyward or towards the ceiling, wherever you may be. And maybe find some gentle movement there before you hug yourself in. So lifting up your shoulders, your head, wrapping your arms around your shins, and squeeze in. Show up for yourself. Pour into yourself. This is for you. We're going to go ahead and grab a block. I should have mentioned that before. You don't have to have a block. Maybe a pillow, a stuffed animal, a book even will do. But we're going to place that between our knees. And inhale, lift our knees above our hips. And your body will naturally just go there. And maybe flexing your toes towards your shin. And inhale, open your arms out to a T. Now the palms can be flipped up or twisted down. But what we're going to do here in this space is breathe in from center space and exhale, drift the legs to the opposite direction. Going through both sides, right and left. Once you find that resistance, that's your cue to inhale, come back to center. And remember to press the low back into the earth. This all connects. So from earlier when we were finding our hips towards us and away from us, moving in our pelvic floor, we're just elevating that. Find this a few times at the rhythm of your own breath. And eventually release that block away from your legs and reach the arms up overhead. Inhale and bring the knees back to center. And we're going to begin to rock and roll the length of our mat. So lifting up our legs, lifting up the low back, the shoulders travel with us. So we're just gently rocking forward and backward, getting into the entirety of the spine here. And I am very much exaggerating this movement, but if that's not for you, rocking and rolling, we are going to find ourselves into a boat pose. Now, it's winter where I live. My boat is winterized, right? But your boat can be a yacht, a tugboat, whatever it might be. You can extend your arms out in front of you, plant your hands in front, or you can level it up, lift the legs, lift the arms, whatever you decide to do. That's on you. But we are going to inhale, lift and rise, and exhale, tilt back that center space, that gravity, and inhale, come back up, come back up. Exhale, complete the breath out. Inhale, rise up. And we're going to end up finding ourselves into a tabletop. Good job, good job. I told you, winter warmer, we're warming it up. A tabletop, all fours, hands and knees. You're sturdy, you're secure. And just take a breath in and notice how that breath moves throughout your spine. And as you inhale, we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze, and exhale, round our back, look towards our navel. Cat-cow, inhale, fill, fill, fill. Exhale, empty out. Next time you breathe in, notice those collarbones open and spread. And as you exhale, maybe apply more pressure into the shins, the tops of the feet, for the back to arch taller, higher. And find what you need here. Your breath will guide your body where it needs to go. You just have to listen. Maybe that even means stillness, because we still are kind of hibernating. If you're watching, you can see I'm twisting, looking over my shoulder, getting into my side bodies a little bit. You could tuck your toes. The hands could be in a different position. And then I'm going to end up sinking my hips back to a child's pose, but tucking my toes underneath, feeling that stretch. And we're going to move into a lazy up dog from child's pose. And from that child's pose, you're going to inhale, lift the hips. And walk the hands out a little bit in front of you so they begin to sink the hips and lifting up through the shoulders, the back, and exhale, sinking back. Now we're connecting breath to movement here. Every time you breathe in, you're drifting forward, sinking the hips. Maybe even look over the shoulder. As you exhale, roll over your knees, tuck back. And eventually begin again. Inhale. It's almost like creating waves. So find your wave, find your flow, your rhythm. And we're going to elevate this even more. Remember, I'm telling y'all, this is a winter warmer, so those arms walk out in front of you. You can see what we go through next, and then I'm going to cue and guide you through it. So it's that same thing, sinking back to that child's pose. The only thing that's different is we're tucking our toes and lifting our legs. Plank pose, you got it. It's just a progression of what we've just been doing. If this isn't your jam, you can go back to that child's pose, to lazy up dog. But really use your breath here, sinking back. As you breathe in, tuck those toes, lift the legs, kind of extend and launch forward is how I find this space to be. And then eventually we are going to hold that plank and press back to downward facing dog. Legs, arms extend. And you can explore here in this space, bending into the knees, lifting up through the heels, rolling onto the ball of your foot. Maybe even finding those gradual waves here now that we're in this down dog. And breathe. From your down dog, I want you to look forward. Inhale, bend your knees, not like what I'm doing, and walk your feet to the top. My legs are so stiff and straight. And then you find this forward fold, so your body hangs over your legs. And we're going to find a halfway lift. So as you breathe in, drift your fingertips up your legs so your upper body lifts. So it's like a number 7 or upside down L. And we'll do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. The legs lengthen as well. And exhale. This time we're going to grab opposite elbows. So we're in that number 7 shape. You're reaching those elbows out in front of you. Now this is a lot, so breathe. Use your breath. Inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and hang heavy. Release, let it go. Now you can explore here, twist side to side like I am. Use your legs. Bend and lengthen. Use your breath in and out. So I kind of call this, what do I have on my sheet? Around the world. So find this movement, moving around the world. Go ahead and release your hands. Maybe release your head side to side and come back up, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're going to walk back to plank pose, and we're going to soften our knees. As you breathe in, drift your body forward, bend your elbows, lower down to your belly, release to the tops of your feet. Your elbows are behind you. Inhale, just lift your chest, and exhale, soften. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, rise. This is called a cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Use that breath in. Cobra. Fill up with breath. Release those shoulders behind you. Maybe you levitate. Lift your hands and your feet. You got it. You got it. Whew. Press into those hands. Lift up your body. And exhale. Find your child's pose. Maybe those knees open or come together. As you extend your arms out in front of you. Mentally preparing for the other side, because what we do on one side, we have to match it up with the other. So coming back to that tabletop space, walking those hands out in front of you, remember, tucking those toes behind you, sinking the hips back. And the next time you breathe in, begin to lift and launch forward to that plank pose. And exhale, soften the knees, child's pose. Inhale, lengthen, drift, lift. Exhale, soften, lower. And that next time you're up in that plank pose, press the hips high to the sky. Maybe walk the feet in, downward facing dog. Looking towards your navel, but not forcing the head to travel there. It's just a gaze, just a spot to look to. As you breathe in, bend your knees, don't be stiff like me, and exhale to the top. Forward fold. And grabbing opposite elbows here. Kind of freestyle, and again, going back to letting my breath guide my body. I'm going to find those 3 halfway lifts. And exhale, fold in. Big breath in, lift up halfway. Let those shoulders release away from your ears. Inhale, halfway lift. Grab those elbows, reach them out in front of you. You're so long in this space. Upside down L or 7. Go ahead and release down, hang heavy. What do you need? Honor the ask of your body. You see me, I begin to twist open, planting one hand down and lifting the other up. Whichever hand is down planted, that knee is going to bend too. So that left hand is down, my left knee is bent. Maybe you release that hand to your low back. Move it around the world. This feels particularly good in that upper back, the side body, the legs, honestly just all encompassing. Finding your flow, your movement, right? This is what it's all about. And then go ahead and step back to plank pose. Inhale, drift forward, soften the knees. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Lead with your heart. Bend your elbows, lower down. It's like a push-up. And inhale, cobra. Just the chest lifts by pressing into the hands, into the tops of the feet. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. And one more time, inhale. Go ahead, hover those hands, those feet. Breathe and squeeze. You got it. Exhale, plant the hands, lift up the chest. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, roll over your knees, press back, child's pose. How we doing? Checking in, we're almost there. Take rest whenever you need rest. Grab a sip of water whenever you need water. And we're going to get back into it. So walking those hands out in front of you, tucking those toes under, sinking the hips back. When you breathe in, lift, lengthened plank pose. Exhale, soften back, child's pose. Inhale, plank, lengthen, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, plank pose. And exhale, press the hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. I'm just going to switch it up just a little bit here. But inhale, looking towards your fingertips, forward fold. Hanging heavy. You've been here a few times before. Give yourself those halfway lifts times 3. So lifting those fingertips up your shins. And exhale, folding in for that number 7 shape. And from here, go ahead and what are we gonna do? I guess I'm still listening to my body and folding in, walking those fingertips back behind me, leaning into the ball of my foot where my toes are, leaning back towards the heels. And I'm going to step back to plank pose eventually. Inhale, drift forward, soften the knees, untuck your toes, take a deep breath in, lean forward, lead with your heart, bend the elbows. It's cobra. Exhale, twice more, inhale. Let those shoulder blades kind of kiss back behind you, if that makes sense. And take off. Hover the hands, hover the feet. Go ahead and extend the arms in front of you. Deep breath in and exhale, sweep them back. It's almost if you were swimming. Inhale, reach, or exhale. Better imagination, making a snow angel since, we're still in winter. Inhale, bring yourself up, upward facing dog. Exhale, sink back to child's pose. And we'll rest here for quite a few breaths. So tap back into your inhales and your exhales so you can be in this moment called present, the reality of now. A few more breaths. And eventually come up to your tabletop, and as you breathe in, we're going to reach our right leg back behind us. So we're on the ball of our foot. And then lift the leg away from the earth. Take a breath in here and exhale. Squeeze the knee towards your heart, towards your chest. Inhale, push back out. And exhale, try it again. Squeeze in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, one more time. Exhale. Now leave your leg out behind you, and you're going to tuck your left toes and drift your body weight forward to begin to lift the leg and press back for a three-legged dog. Whew, I know. We'll try it again sometime on the other side. But for now, lift that leg overhead. Breathe in, fill, and exhale. Again, squeeze the knee towards your heart and then press the foot down. Walk your hands back and extend your legs for pyramid pose. So your back foot needs to be flat. If the heel is lifted, just go ahead and step that back foot up. And it's like forward fold, but our body is hanging over the right leg. And you can do what you want with your hands, your arms. You can explore. But we're folding in. As we breathe in, halfway lift, drift up onto your fingertips, and exhale, fold. Walk your fingertips in front of you, lift the back heel and leg at the same time for a warrior 3 variation or airplane. Go ahead and bend into your right knee, walk the hands back until you soften down to the left knee. Walking your hands up, inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Reach a little bit taller, inhale, and exhale. Begin to twist your right hand, arm back behind you. Breathe in, both arms lift up overhead. And exhale, release your hands and begin to extend your right leg for, what is this? It's getting to the end of class. Half-seated split, there we go. So your head is up, your chest is up. You can tent your fingertips and your right leg is extended. Now you might be where I'm at, or you could lower down that glute towards your left heel. Let's go ahead and come back to lunge, to a plank pose. I'm walking up because I'm a little off my mat. And from tabletop, we're going to find a cat-cow. Breathe in and exhale. Press the back up. And coming back to neutral, inhale, the left leg sweeps back behind you. Lift the leg away from the earth, and we're going to crunch in 3 times. So pressing that knee towards your heart or towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze in, hollow out the belly. Inhale, push it back. And one more time. Inhale, squeeze in. And exhale. I might have had those inhales and exhales messed up. It's been a minute, y'all. In any event, we're going to press back to 3-legged dog. Lifting the left leg high up towards the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your knee, press it towards your heart. Step the foot down, walk your hands, and extend your legs back, pyramid pose. Fold in. And remember, from here we're going to find that warrior 3 variation or airplane. So setting yourself up, we're going to inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Next time you breathe in, walk the fingertips forward, roll onto the ball of your back foot, and lift your leg. There you go. You got it. Breathe in, bend into the left knee, sink back to lunge, softening your right knee, walking your hands up. And the last thing to float overhead are your arms. Breathe in. Inhale, twist the left hand back behind you. Open up. Breathe in, both arms lift up overhead. And exhale, release your hands. Extend your leg for half-seated split. You can walk the foot up a little bit there for that extension to happen. And I tip my fingertips here. You might be in a different space. There's no right or wrong, so don't let nobody tell you otherwise. I'm here specifically because my hamstrings tell me so. My hamstrings are tight. But some people, those hips travel back towards their heel. We're going to walk back up, find ourselves in that that lunge space to plank and downward facing dog. I need to get back into these videos because there at the end I kind of fumble a little bit. And I do that in real life too, in my real classes. Not that this isn't real, it's just virtual. Anyway, let's get back on track. Go ahead and find your tabletop. And some cat-cows. Inhale, dropping the belly, tilting, lifting your gaze. And exhale, rounding through your back, gazing towards your belly button, your navel. And we're going to walk back to a hero's pose, just to transition onto our bottom. And remember that boat pose we did earlier? Let's find that space, feet down. Inhale, arms extend in front. And exhale, just tilt back, and begin to draw those knees into your chest, soften the shoulders, the head. And it's back to a familiar space we were in not so long ago. Maybe you drift side to side. We will find supine twist. But just releasing out your lower back, maybe drifting the head side to side. And if you have that block stuffed animal pillow, maybe you use that for a supine twist. So as you breathe in, exhale, drift the knees over to the right side. And maybe your gaze tilts to the opposite direction. And that block, prop, what have you, could be underneath your right knee or in between your knees. A little bit of cushion and comfort is nice in this space, as our knees are one direction and our upper body opens and twists to the other direction. And we're going to lift those knees back up, inhale, and exhale, drift them over to the other side. And breathe. Inhale, bring your knees back up and plant your feet down towards earth. And we're just going to windshield wiper our knees side to side. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. And we're going to find a belly up pigeon. So bend your right knee so you can cross your ankle over your left knee. And you can stay still or find some movement, drifting those hips again side to side. You could even bring your left knee in towards your chest. It's going to be different for everybody. Rolling out your ankles, stretching through your toes. You see me extending my left leg up towards skyward, maybe pushing my right knee away from my body. There are many options, but what is best for you in this moment? We're going to come back to planting our left foot down and find peace fingers with your right hand and wrap it around your big toe. And inhale, open up your leg out to the side. Maybe you drift it up towards skyward. And eventually releasing the right foot down as we prepare and move through the other side. So the left knee lifts or bends as the ankle crosses over the opposite leg. And this side might be different. I begin to lift my right knee in towards my chest. Notice my left hand presses my leg away, my bent knee. You could find a bind by threading your left hand through your legs and either interlacing your fingers behind your thigh or maybe place them there on top of your knee. After this, we're going to find our peace fingers with our left hand. So eventually, when you come back to where we started, bending that right knee so the foot plants to the earth, find your peace fingers and wrap it around your big toe. And inhale, open up your leg, open it up out to the left. And then we find rest. It's called corpse pose, or in Sanskrit, shavasana, lying flat on our back, taking up more space, less space, and closing your eyes and breathing. Until next time, namaste.